soon.
You left a year ago to search for a cure for my affliction. An island in the middle of the Pacific that the locals refuse to even name. Your letters kept me close to you. But suddenly they stopped coming. What happened, Opal? What did you find?
Hello again. We're muted. Oops.
Oops.
We were muted. We're going to try that again. So, I'm Liam, producer at Raw Fury and person who forgets to unmute microphones. And this is...
My name is Rasmus, and I am quality producer here at Raw Fury.
Well, welcome, Rasmus.
Thank you.
So we had a really good conversation. You missed that. Yeah. We're going to skip it. We're going to go directly to the exciting stuff, which is there is a specific date for Call of the Sea that we're talking about today. Rasmus, what is that date?
So yeah, that date is actually December 8th. That's the date you want to mark down in your calendars, because that's the date when the game is launching.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And we're doing two very cool things today. 3, if you count the date thing, which we've done now. So that was cool. 1 out of 3 things completed. The other 2 things we're going to do is we're going to play the first maybe 20 or 30 minutes of Call of the Sea. We're going to get an actual in-depth look into the intro of the game and do a proper deep dive into it. No pun intended. And we also have a special guest with us today. And that is none other than Tatiana Delgado from Out of the Blue Games. And we're gonna go live now to her. So, Tatiana, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream, and so excited to have you here for what is a very exciting day. We're now really close to the launch. So how does it feel?
Oof, it's a mix of emotions right now. We are just adding the finishing touches to the game, and we really want to share all this work with everybody. So we're developing.
Fantastic. So I mean, we can start diving into the game pretty quick. It sounds like people are saying that they couldn't hear you that well, so we're going to fix that. We're having a lot of audio issues today. Okay, Tatiana, can you say something again just for the stream, just so we can make sure they hear you this time?
Hello, can you hear me right this time?
This is looking better. Does the stream agree? Can you hear Tatiana fine?
Mm-hmm.
Much better. Perfect. Okay.
Cool.
So we're gonna get the game booted up here, and Rasmus, who is something of an expert on Call of the Sea, is going to be playing and taking us through the beginning of the game. But while we boot up the game, Tatiana, why don't you introduce yourself for the viewers who may not know you?
Okay, so, well, my name is Tatiana. I've been a game designer for 17 years, and I've been working on all kind of games, like console games, PC games, mobile. And after 14 years, I decided at one moment that I really wanted to make my own games. It was a moment to start doing the things that I really wanted to do. And I started first a company called Vertical Robot that was focused on virtual reality games. But after that, we wanted to make a focus on narrative, story-driven, and puzzle games. And that's why we created Out of the Blue Games with my business partner, Manuel, that is a person I know for a long time in my life. I've been working with him before. So we both love these kind of games and decided we wanted to finally be able to make the games we love. And that's why we are here. We were able together a group of veterans from people we already know from other companies. So we are a very tight-knit group of developers that I'm so grateful of the team we have now. You cannot imagine the passion that everybody is putting into the game. So, well, I think you can actually see it from the images, from the trailer, from everything that you already see. So about the game, that the work, fantastic work everybody's doing.
Fantastic. That's so lovely, and it's so good to hear. It must be terrifying, but exciting to be so close to launch. And Rasmus, why don't we just jump right in and we can see this thing in action. This is my first time seeing this intro, because I played Call of the Sea a long time ago when you first kind of came over to Stockholm and we started talking about collaborating. So I'm really excited to see how it's progressed since then personally. But I mean, of course, for a lot of people watching at home, this is the first time they're going to see the game. So what can you tell us before we dive in? What is Call of the Sea in short?
So Call of the Sea is a first-person adventure game with puzzles. It has, I would say, half of it is a story and half of it is. So you have to, as long as you progress into the game, solving these puzzles, you will get as a reward the story. Also, you have to put a lot of attention into the environment. So you will play as a bit of a detective, trying to find out what happened into the game, because you play as Nora, is a woman that is we're in the 1930s, and she's looking for her husband. He went into an expedition and disappeared. You never knew anything else about him. So you're trying to follow his track, and the track leads you to. And in this island, you are going to find out the remains of camps, and you're going to try to figure out what happened to them. So this is part of that detective part I was mentioning. We have put a lot of effort of placing every object in a specific position, so you know, or you can find out who was the person who did that, or why, what happened there. So I think that's in a sense Call of the Sea.
Fantastic, really, really cool. So let's do it. Let's go to the 1930s. Let's assume the role of Nora, and let's figure out where Harry has gone. Harry is the husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Right. Okay, so of course, if you like what you see, which we hope you do, you can go wishlist the game on Steam. Please do. It really helps us a lot. And I believe, Rasmus, it's also possible to pre-order. What's the situation there?
So yeah. Of course, you can go in on the Xbox store or at the Xbox people, their store. So you can go in there and you can actually pre-order the game right now from today. So if you have an Xbox Series X, if you just got one, not like me who failed to pre-order,
big mistake.
Then you can just go in there on your Xbox Series X or S console and just pre-order the game from today.
Right on. Pre-order wishlist if you like it. Let us know what you think. Let's dive in. Man, I gotta stop saying dive in, because literally what we're doing,
we're actually diving in.
We're underwater. Okay, Tatiana, what's going on here? We're underwater. How long can we hold our breath? What's the situation? Do we need to panic?
Well, we want to start the game in a situation where actually you don't know what is happening. So you will hear some music that is a bit strange. It's inspired a bit by the suspense old movies from the era. And she's diving and you don't know what's going on. She's scared. You will see at first it's like a normal underwater world, but there is a moment that you will see. Well, you will see now, very soon, some objects that is like, how is this? What is this under the water?
What's that thing? Turn around, Rasmus. What's over there? So this is what you were talking about. Like there's so much little detail and nuance, things to explore. What time is it? Let's see.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell.
So we are very. So we are really obsessed about the details in this regard. So, for example, an hour in a clock, it might mean something. It's not important for the story, but there is a lot of layers and layers of details that for those like we love these details. If you want to dive in, you start scratching the surface and you can get a lot of things. But for those that just want to enjoy the puzzles and move quick through the story, you will understand it too. So we want to provide this kind of entertainment for everybody.
That's really nice. What's that? Are those like portraits? You're missing some photo frames, right?
And the frames.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello.
My old music box. It's broken. I have to fix my old music box. I have to get it. I have to...
Aha! We were in a dream.
Those
Maybe?
horrible dreams again.
Okay.
Ever since my mother died and left.
So some folks are asking questions already in the chat. Oh, a lot of people are saying the art is phenomenal from Soul Vibes. Thank you. Queen V is saying it looks so gorgeous. Peto Lobo, the game looks amazing. Wow, everyone's so positive. Well, that's really cool. And I mean, Tatiana, the first thing that kind of strikes you with Call of the Sea is the visuals, of course. I mean, it looks beautiful. What was the kind of original idea for this game? Like, how did the idea of Call of the Sea come about?
It was a mix of ideas because we, as I said, we want to always tell a story about the game. So we, both Manuel and me, are avid tabletop role-playing gamers, and we usually play a lot of games like the Call of Cthulhu, or whatever you pronounce it, because I know everybody has a different pronunciation. We say Cthulhu. So that's the kind of stories that we wanted to put into a game, but we wanted to give it a twist. And on the other side, at this moment I really love the Polynesian culture. I'm studying it actually, and we thought it would be super cool to have a game happening in an island and trying to put some actual Polynesian things with some like, for example, the plants, the birds, the kind of structures they have. So we thought it was cool to have, now that I have the chance of, because my teacher knows a lot of these things, and having him supporting us into the game with his knowledge, it was amazing. So we kind of mix this Lovecraftian with puzzle and Polynesia theme and put it together and make this game happen.
Wow.
Also, what we really love, another inspiration, is the classic adventures, like the movies of Indiana Jones. And we don't have action in this game. It's no combat at all. But that part of the feeling of exploring an forgotten civilization, going through the ruins and trying to figure out what that was. So we try to put a bit of that spirit into the game too.
What a lovely mix. So Call of Cthulhu, a little bit of Indiana Jones, a bit of Polynesian history, a bit of archaeology. Kind of that's such a cool mix. And I mean, that is fantastic as well, as you mentioned, being able to have a professor, I suppose, an expert of the Polynesian culture. That must have been super valuable in having that kind of wealth of information.
Yeah.
What are we doing now, Rasmus? Are you opening a briefcase?
Yeah, I'm trying to open his briefcase, but I seem to have forgotten the code. But I mean, we have the handy journal, so.
Okay. Hopefully, yeah, we're going to try to avoid asking Tatiana for cheats. We're trying to get through this, see if we can figure it out. There's a question here from the chat as well, and I'm not sure if we have an answer for this, but let's give it a go. From WKMP26, will there be a physical or collector's edition of this game?
Well, this is something at this moment we don't know. I personally would love to have a physical edition. I would love. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future.
And another question here from Cyclops Man 0926. A lot of 26 endings here. I'm starting to wonder if there's a conspiracy. But the question is, will this be on Game Pass?
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The question was, will this be on Xbox Game Pass? Or what's so it's PC and Xbox then, or? Okay. Very good.
Yes.
Very cool. Someone's saying they lost sound for a few seconds. If everyone lost sound, please let me know. I think we're cursed with sound this time.
I just sounded something.
So what are we looking at here? This is really cool. Some kind of a dagger, or no? Is it a dagger?
Some kind of weird, ancient-looking instrument, at least.
What a disrespect to history, Rasmus. It's some weird thing.
Weird artifact.
Good save. So whose briefcase is this? What are we looking through here, Tatiana?
So everything starts for Nora because she's waiting. She's sick. That's why Harry has to go to look for a cure for her affliction.
Okay.
And after, when she stopped receiving the letters from Harry, she's worried. She doesn't know what to do. And one day she receives a package. And this package contains the items that you see in the suitcase. It's a photo of Harry with a mysterious message behind and a key attached to it. And this strange relic that resembles a knife. Something that is very weird that you have seen.
Okay.
That's everything. So she's worried and she starts looking for him. The last letter she got was from San Francisco. And actually, you can, if you are interested in the letters that Harvey and Nora were sending each other, we are publishing each week a letter.
Oh,
So you
cool.
can start in the story of before Harvey stopped sending the letters and disappeared. So what? Nari Nora travels to San Francisco, follows the trail to Tahiti, and then to the island, and
All right.
that's why it's here.
I think Nari must be their like celebrity couple name, right? That's the combination. So there's another question here from TFW Bad Feel. I guess that's that feeling when bad feel. That's a good name. Well, they're asking basically roughly how long is the game? And I suppose that that's going to vary a little bit depending on if you're going to look at all the secrets and if you want to really explore everything. But do you have a sense roughly, Tatiana, of how long Call of the Sea is?
Yeah, we have roughly around 6-7 hours, I think. But if you spend a lot of time reading every document, or it depends, of course, on the puzzle, how long it takes for you to solve. But I think from 6-7 upwards.
Okay.
I don't-
So it's a nice length, you know. You could, in a dedicated weekend, you might be able to play through the thing, but might even take you a little longer. Depends. So that's good. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we're just getting off the boat here now, so
Ooh.
onto our smaller boat instead.
This is beautiful. Obviously, everything before has been beautiful too, but you know, I'm a sucker for an open ocean. Just gotta say. Oh,
Yes.
shout out to Jackie Bo One. They say the game looks amazing. Thank you so much. I'm like, why am
thank
I
you.
taking credit? I didn't make the game. Tatiana. It's that amazing work. So
No, but I want to say thank you to all these people that is saying nice things, because you know we are a small team. We are tired after the production, and the nice words that they are giving to us is like, I don't know, brightening our days and giving us strength to continue doing what we love, because we are doing everything for them. So thank you.
That's really nice. Do you want to talk a little bit about the team, by the way, and because you mentioned Manuel, you want to talk about the rest of the team members? Maybe just describe like how many are you? What does everybody do? It'd be really interesting to hear a little bit about out of the blue.
So well, Manuel, that is my business partner, is also programmer and producer.
Cool.
Then we have Daniel Nombela, that is the art director. So you have to thank him for these beautiful looks. Then we have 3D artists. I hope I don't forget anyone, because they are listening and they will hit me after this. We have Thanos, that he's from Greece. He's a 3D artist I've known for a long time. He's super nice. He's a nice person. And then we have Odin, Manuel Rador, Carlos, all 3D artists. That I think what you can notice is they put their heart and souls in every asset they made. So every small detail on the island is like a character itself. So they put so much care that you will see, every time you examine an object, is so much detail put on it and care, that's why it's so beautiful. And then we have Guillermo, that is our environmental and lighting artist. That is the one that is responsible for the beautiful light ambience that we got in the game. That I think is very important to give you because we use the environment a bit to convey the emotions of the character. So here at the start of the game, everything is so bright, and because he just arrived on the island. But you will see how the environment is going to change as long as the game progresses.
It's awesome, and congratulations to the whole team. You know, you've really made something super magical. So it's so cool to see it all coming together. I just got to say as well, you know, you couldn't see it there because I was pointing at the screen while Rasmus was playing. We got to the beach and I was just pointing at that little seashell. I was like, can we go look at that? And I didn't actually know you could pick it up. But I mean, that's so lovely that you see something and you kind of instinctively want to go look at it, and then you can actually interact with it. And I think that's a really nice bit of world building. There's a question in the chat from.
Sorry, because there's more team. I need to
okay.
talk about that. They are
of course.
So we shouldn't forget our game designer, because I'm working on the game designer team too as one of them. We have Alvaro that is doing a fantastic job, and because when you are a game designer, it's a very difficult work because you have to have some chemistry with the whole game design team, or else it's going to be difficult to get the best or the most of the game. And actually, I think with Alvaro and Alfredo, that is game designer and writer on the game, and we make a very solid team, and everybody is happy to share the ideas, and we don't have any problem telling each other, like they can tell me like this idea is horrible and it's okay, but everybody is making everything for the game to shine, and they put so much effort into making everything as polished as possible that I think is fantastic. And of course, I don't want to forget, because everybody always forgets, the sound team. We have Eduardo that is responsible for the sound, sorry, the composer and sound designer. And you will see the original soundtrack of this game is beautiful. He has made so many music themes for this game. It's fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. And there was there were two questions I want to get to real quick. The first one is easy, so we can answer that one quick. It's from Soul Vibes, and they're asking, is this game controller friendly? Rasmus, show him the controller.
The controller is right here.
That's your answer. We're playing on a controller right now. You can play with mouse and keyboard as well, so it's very nice and flexible. And there was another question about Sissy Jones, I believe, is the name of she the actress playing Nora. Is that correct?
Yes, she's the actress. She's the actress from Firewatch, and we absolutely adore her performance in Firewatch. So we thought for this game, because it's a first-person game, you are not going to actually see the character. It was great to have an actress that was able to create a presence with her voice, and we thought about her. And when she said that. She said yes, and that she loved the game. We were so happy to have her on board, and it has been fantastic working with her. She's so funny also, and she loves the game, so it was great.
Very cool.
And I'm realizing I forgot, and I'm never going to forgive myself or concept artist. Sorry, Jose Leote.
Well, Tatiana, we put you on the spot here.
But he's amazing with the concept art, and you probably have seen Nora's image. Every picture of the game, because what we do in this team, we are a small team, but we know our strengths. So we want to use those strengths into the game. So if we have a very good concept artist or very good person in 2D, we put a lot of things that requires 2D. So even if it's a 3D game, you will see a lot of papers and videos and things that I don't want to spoil. But that are actually 2D. All the journal that you see.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's done an amazing job, and we will have also the very nice art book featuring all these concepts. So you will be able to see that.
Very cool. And we had some of the pieces there in the intro of the stream. I'll just bring some of those up again. These are some of the concept pieces that we have. And I mean, it's really fantastic. And this is the art that essentially informs the rest of the artistic direction and gives the 3D modelers something to work with, right? So it's really crucial stuff to determining the look of the game. Cool. So there's another question here from what is that emoji? I'm not sure. It's Homie Drew. Homie Drew asks, well, actually they ask, if I may ask, which you may ask anything. How long was the game in development? It's been a year and some months, I think, almost a year and a half development. So it's been a rather quick development. Definitely, it's crazy that you've managed to put all this stuff together in that short amount of time. Very impressive. There's another question here from Alex GSP. Shout out, by the way. Loved the stream you did of Whispers of Machine. Thank you so much for that. Alex asks, any horror elements in the game? The game is so atmospheric. There looks to be plenty of opportunities. Or maybe a future title built on the same engine. Ooh, this one isn't even out yet, and we're already talking about the next game. Well, what do you think, Tatiana? Anything spooky in this game?
Not that much. So everything can turn a bit darker, but don't expect this to be a horror game. So being inspired by a Lovecraft, I would say the Lovecraft universe or narrative, doesn't mean we are going to use monsters or scary or gory things. It's more we trying to take a new point of view or approach to Lovecraft. Okay. So we are going to focus more on the surreal is trying to do something. I don't want to spoil too much because if I go too much into details, I might spoil. But let's say that it's not a horror game.
So there's not going to be any jump scares or anything like that.
No.
But there's definitely some pretty creepy stuff happening, right? So. But yeah, we're not going to spoil anything. You might notice as well, Rasmus is taking his time here. We don't really want to dive too deep into the game because, well, we want you to play it on December 8th. We hope you've wishlisted it on Steam already and pre-order if you want to. But yeah, we want you to have a chance to explore this by yourself. So we're not really going to spoil too much today, but we thought we'd give a little look at least and give you a sense of the feeling. So what is the kind of general mission in the game? You know, we're looking for Harry. How do we succeed in that? A lot of puzzles, a lot of exploration. Like, how do we succeed in finding Harry without spoiling it?
Mm-hmm. It's a bit of combination both. So you have to get farther into the island, and you will have to follow the trail of the expedition, and you will find obstacles. So, as at the same time you overcome these obstacles, you will have to solve these puzzles and you will find these answers to questions, and the story will evolve. So I would say you will have two stories in parallel. Mm-hmm. One is what happened to Harry. You will, as I said before, find these camps and try to figure out with the things that are there, what they did, what they happened, what was the relationship between the characters that were there. And on the other side is going to be the story about Nora and how, because of the things she learned on the island, how this is going to change her. How this is going to be at the same time an evolution on... she was a person that was sick and was living at home, probably not going out too much, and suddenly she has to cross all the world and she's going to discover things that are going to change her life. So... that's the other part of the story.
All right. It's kind of a big deal, yeah. Very cool. Do you want to say anything about Nora's affliction, or is that something players have to figure out for themselves?
I would rather let that for the players to discover.
Okay. I tried. It's okay. Completely fair. Another question from That Feel When Bad Feel. Such a good name. What is the price of the game, and will there be a pre-order shown on Steam? So I think there's no pre-order on Steam, right, Rasmus?
No, that is correct.
That is correct. Can we talk about the price at all?
Yes, we can. I mean, I have a nice little presentation here.
Okay,
for the price and everything. I can just run through it if you want to.
Let's do it. Do you have a PowerPoint presentation? We just do it?
Sadly, no, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation. But yeah, at least I have the price here.
That's true.
So yeah, Call of the Sea will be releasing on Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Windows 10, Steam, and GOG on December 8th. Boom. And the price point is $19.99. And remember, you can pre-order right now on the Xbox Store, and you can receive a sweet discount of 10%. Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. Don't forget to wishlist it on Steam, though, if you really want the deal. So, yeah.
If you hit the wishlist on Steam, you'll get a notification as soon as the game comes out, which is really nice, and it helps us a lot. So, yeah. Please wishlist. That's the last time I'm going to say it, by the way, but please do.
Wishlist.
Appreciate it. Super important question here from the chat. Probably the most important question we're going to get today. Can you jump in the game? And I should point out that the person who asked is also saying that they're joking, but I think we should take this seriously. Can you jump in the game, Tatiana?
No.
No jumping in Call of the Sea. What is the
No,
reason for
I'm
that?
sorry. It's something practical, actually, because if you allow the player to jump, which is not necessary in this game, it can lead to the... we are going to give Rasmus a lot of headache because the player is going to be jumping and probably exiting the playable area more easily. So if there is no need to jump, we prefer not to add it to simplify.
No, totally makes sense. Makes sense.
And by the way, I got a message from the team. I forgot another programmer. So we have another programmer that is helping us. He joined later into production, but he's giving us a great help, and he's here. So sorry. After this stream, everybody's going to kill me now.
Well,
so perhaps this is the last time you see me.
Well, Tatiana, when you're live on stream and you're asked to recite a list of different people, it can be challenging. So team, please be gentle, please be kind. It's harder than it looks to be on camera like this and talk about a game. So don't worry about that. Question here from Hugh PC. Impatience to immerse in this adventure, which reminds me a lot to mythological mysteries and the discovering of ancient enigmas and stories through the tropical paradise, like my favorite saga, Tomb Raider. I'm not sure what the question is, but I think they're basically saying that they're getting that Tomb Raider vibe. Was that an inspiration for Call of the Sea, would you say?
Well, actually, it wasn't, but it would be an honor to be... if they get that vibe. So yeah, I mean, we are inspired by the Indiana Jones look, so perhaps there is the parallel there.
Right.
But thank you. The actual inspirations are more in the visual side. We got inspiration from Firewatch, of course, and Sea of Thieves, but only in the visual side, or even The Witness. But gameplay-wise, we are more, I would say, aligned with Obduction and all those games that are drinking from the inspiration of Myst, the original one. So you can expect those kind of puzzles, not as complicated, but those kind of puzzles. When you have to, for example, in the one you are solving now, one thing we really loved about the Myst puzzles is that you explore a place and you will find things. And at first, they make no sense at all. So you just take note and save it for later. But as soon as you explore everything, suddenly everything makes sense, and you understand the logic between all those symbols or whatever it is that you found. So that's a lot of the inspiration we got for the Call of the Sea. So we recommend that you take your time. That's why we also have very beautiful environments. Take your time, explore, and try to understand the logic behind the puzzles. That's part of the fun too.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like I recognize this symbol from earlier, and then Rasmus put up the journal. That's really cool. There's a very, very technical question in the chat as well from Cajun Joe. He's asking what kind of device are we, what setup are we running on? We're running on a Windows 10 PC with what is it? It's the RTX 260 Super and a recent i7. No, it's a Ryzen. Sorry. It's a Ryzen. I forget which one. 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, there's your geeky details. It's a pretty nice PC. But before the stream, we were having some problems with OBS, so I'm just glad it's running smooth now. Cool. And this is indeed the first time we're actually showing the game on a PC, so that's pretty exciting. And well, December 8th. I'm just going to say it again. December 8th. It's so soon. It's exciting. I'm super excited for this release. Tatiana, would you like to maybe tell people, like, leaving the game aside for a second, I'd be super curious. You mentioned you've been making games for like 17 years, if I'm remembering the number correct. It's a long time, and I'd love to hear a bit more about your story and you know, how you got into the industry, how you started making games. Maybe if you have any advice for people at home of how to get into the industry. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So, well, in my family, video games was something that was like part of the family entertainment. So my father was buying all the consoles from
Awesome.
the very early ones. So I was very lucky in that regard. And since I was very young, I really wanted to make games. I had I I didn't knew how to program. I was trying to learn, but I so I just made the prototypes with paper and played a lot with my cousins and sisters. And I thought that I was going to be able to pursue as a career and video games, but then I decided that I told to my parents that if I try to learn some programming, if I could make video games, because in that part of in that at that time I'm I'm quite old. I might not look like that, but I'm quite old. So in that moment in history, games were made by only one or two persons, and I thought, okay, I know how to draw. I know I have ideas. I only need to learn programming. And my parents say, okay, you study something at college, and after that you do whatever you want. And I studied not actually programming, but an engineering in communication. Something I don't know why. Where I actually learned some coding, but it was super hard. But the good thing about that, and it's this casualties on that some life sometimes have that we created a game club there where we played all kind of games like role-playing games, board games, Warhammer, and I really learned a lot about games. When I was there, I was lucky that one day they came into the room we had to play the games at university, and it was a person that was looking for someone to work at a game company. And I say, me, I want to. So I made the interview and I made it. I was really lucky because they were looking for someone that knew about role playing games and knew about technology. So that's why when they went to the university to look for that role. And that's how I got my first job as a game designer. I didn't actually knew what a game designer did at that time. So I learned a lot. And from there, I was lucky to go from one job to another. And as I said, for 14 years working for others. And at some point in my life, I realized I have lost the illusion of making, not illusion, the joy of making games. And when I was giving a design workshop, when a place I was teaching, I saw the students with so much. They had this feeling that I already lost of the joy of making games. So I said, I want to be like them again. So that's why I created my company, and that's why I'm here. And I'm really happy that Manuel also felt like that and joined me because we worked together in that first job, that very first job. And all the people, we are like, out of the blue, it's like a safe haven for developers. We try to bring people that is tired, and we try to bring back the joy of making something we are proud of. And that's what Call of the Sea is. It's the job of a team that really wanted to do something that is we are proud of and share it with the world. So that's the story.
That's really good. No, thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, that's a beautiful story, and I'm glad that that you managed to find that joy again, and it really shows in Call of the Sea. So very cool. And any advice for people who might want to get into the industry?
Yeah, I would say that there are two paths now. That you're lucky that there are ways to study now. There are at the university or master's degrees that you can learn how to make games. And I think that's fantastic. But also you have a lot of tools that are free online that you can use to make your own prototypes. Because I think the best way to learn to make games is to actually make them. And also when you are looking for a job, if you have something to show, that's the most important thing. So if you study at at a university and you have the projects that you did there to show when you're looking for a job, or the projects you do at home, that is the best thing to show what you do. And also, I think perhaps joining or doing some game jams also help us, as I said, practice, meet people, try to learn how to work with others and put your ideas, because the most difficult part of game development is actually finish things.
Yeah,
Start at something and then finish it. That's the hardest part.
exactly. No, that's very true. And for anyone who doesn't know what a game jam is, it's essentially just like a really short period of time. It can be a weekend, it can be a couple of days, where you build a game based on a prompt, right? So you get told you got to make a horror racing game, and you only have 2 days to do it. And okay, let's go. It's really quite something. So very, very good advice, I think, overall there. There's a question here from the chat again. And by the way, I think we're streaming for a little longer. So yeah, if anyone has questions, feel free to continue dropping them in the chat. We'll be here for another maybe 10, 15 minutes at least. So keep asking away.
Yeah, I would keep on stalling here a little bit, unfortunately, because I don't want to give too much away right here in this area. So
yeah, should we go back to the previous?
Level.
What do you think? Should we go back to the previous scene and just explore there again? Because I agree, I don't want to spoil too much.
You can show a route. Perhaps don't walk around a bit more out here. But
Stop, Rasmus! Stop!
Oh.
No, but I think it's nice that people is able to see this exclusive look at second level.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the first time we're showing any of this actually, so that's pretty cool. There was a question from Win3 Rye. What is the play button when you're looking at an object? Is that for like the voice line to be played, or can we show an example?
Yes.
Okay.
It's to replay the voice. Yeah. Did you miss it, or you want to listen to any detail again?
You say, "Look at this fella! Look at this fella!" You can do it as many times as you want. Very nice. There was another question earlier actually that we missed. I want to go back to it. There was a question about the subtitles. Will there be localization for those? Will they be translated in different languages?
Yes. They will.
Okay.
We have 13 languages, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of languages. No ancient Polynesian kind of?
No. I wanted to, but it's hard.
It's not a commonly spoken language these days, unfortunately. Right. Obviously, the next question for this is, will there also be spoken translation? It's English spoken, and then we have different subtitles, right?
Yes, that's correct. We will see in the future because we are a very small team and resources are limited. So we would like to add additional voices, but we will see if in the future we would love to at least in Spanish, because we're from Spain. If you didn't notice my accent. But yeah, at least in Spanish we would love to have them.
Very cool. A few questions from Hugh PC. Will you apply to the Game Awards, presumably next year, like Gris, another Spanish game, did? They did it in 2018, and then they won an award in 2019. Are we applying for the Game Awards?
Yeah, I hope so. Let's see.
Let's see. That'd be cool. Any? Oh man, I'm not gonna pronounce this correctly. Any Rielian subs? It's a Lovecraft language joke. I don't think we have any Cthulhu-esque languages, right? It's mostly Norman languages, right?
Well, no. Well, you will see some words.
Oh,
I don't want to spoil it.
Right, because there was a little.
Actually, yeah.
So there actually
the
is.
Game starts with that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because right at the start there was a little bit. We were talking, but if you go back and you watch the replay of this, you're gonna be able to maybe catch a little something. Very cool. Where in Spain is the team from? Is another question here.
We're from Madrid, but we have. Well, actually, we work remote. We don't have an office, and that's why we were very lucky when all this horrible COVID situation came, because we didn't change anything in production. So we are all around different small towns in Madrid, but we have also one person in Alicante at the coast, so he's the lucky one. And also in Greece, as I said before.
Cool. So it's not only Spain, it's 2 countries. And the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Question from R. Vesic. Do you have a minor thing in the game that you're extra proud of? More than releasing an amazing game.
Hi.
You choose more than one. It could be a major thing. It doesn't have to be a minor thing. It could be anything.
I think... I don't want to spoil, but there are a couple of moments that... I mean, I've seen the game thousands of times, but they almost make me cry a couple of times. So I guess those are the times, but I cannot spoil them.
Okay.
I think we have been able to craft small moments that have a lot of impact I hope, to the emotional impact.
Absolutely. Question here. Any inside development stories? I guess this is more like any funny stories, anything unexpected happened during development?
I don't know. One funny thing that we usually do is that we have nicknames for puzzles. So instead of using like any technical word for the puzzle actually starts with a technical name, and as the game progresses, we just change the name. So we have very funny names. I'm going just to name it because you are not going to have any idea about what they are going to be. Like, we have the Sputnik, we have a Tronquete, we have, what else, Perrito. I don't know. So it's some stupid words that we actually name in every asset, and you can see them reported on on the QA list. So it's fun. Is that?
Love it. That's really cool. A question from Caltech9. Will there be a difficulty setting or a way to go through the game without the main character giving herself hints? So being able to make the game easier or harder. Interesting.
We don't expect to have that. We will see in the future if it's needed, but we have decided a difficulty that I hope is going to be liked by most of the players. So, yeah, at the moment there are no plans for that.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense.
I would say that if you're stuck, just look around a bit more, because probably the answer is closer than you think.
All right.
And the puzzles are not as hard as they look.
It's easy to say when you play the game 1,000 times, but
we'll see.
Just keep looking. That's good advice. There's a couple of, I guess there's a little bit of a conversation in chat now about the fact that you worked in this for about 1.5 years now, and a lot of that time, of course, as you mentioned, has been quite remote. Do you think has that been a challenge working that way? Has it changed anything for you as a team?
As I said before, it didn't, because we don't have offices, so it didn't change. Well, it changed that sometimes we had meetings we rented an office, and for special moments like a kickoff of a feature, we would go to that place and meet all together and talk. But besides that, production has been following at a normal pace, so we were lucky that we didn't have a large impact.
That's really good. And I'm just noticing that there's a butterfly that's flying around to individual flowers right now. Rasmus, can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Can we catch the butterfly? Can we walk up to it? I just want to see. Is it possible to get up close to it? It was really cool that it's like flying around to each flower like that. Look at that.
I don't want to disturb the butterfly.
No, that's true. We shouldn't catch it. That was a bad idea. How rude. That's just really nice. Yeah, I love all the little subtleties and the little detail. You know, that's every small thing like this just brings so much magic to the whole. So it's really, really nice. Sorry, I'm just geeking out. Tatiana, we're slowly running out of time. I guess I want to ask you kind of a big question, but is there anything that you would like to say to people about Call of the Sea?
Oh, well, I hope they enjoy the game as much as we enjoyed making it for them. We think it's going to tell a very beautiful story. It's a story of mystery, of love, and I hope they get hooked about it and they have a great time solving the puzzles and finding out the mystery. So we just put a lot of effort, everybody in the team, for you, for all of you that are listening there. So we really hope you enjoy the game.
Lovely. Well, Tatiana, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us for this stream. First time ever showing this much of the game. So very, very exciting. December 8th, it's coming out too.
So we have Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Xbox One, Windows 10, Steam, GOG on December 8th. And you can right now pre-order on the Xbox Store and get that sweet 10% discount.
Boom. And please wishlist. I said I wasn't going to say it again, but I said it. Please. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And thanks for all the fantastic questions. This was a really, really fun stream. Very much enjoyed it. And we hope to see you again in, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but we are planning another stream for Call of the Sea before launch. And we're going to be doing something a little bit unique, a little bit exciting. And I don't think I'm allowed to say what it is just yet, but stay tuned for that, because it's going to be something, I think, really magical. Thank you again, Tatiana. Thank you, Rasmus, for playing.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this stream. See you all again next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You left a year ago to search for a cure for my affliction. An island in the middle of the Pacific that the locals refuse to even name. Your letters kept me close to you. But suddenly they stopped coming. What happened, Opal? What did you find?